Bring our guest on. And welcome Unkle Ray and DJ Pressplay.
Peace. How y'all doing?
All right. So, yeah, I'm so sorry about that. Like, I'm just starting to use Zoom. I'm sorry, I just got away from Zoom. Have you guys used Zoom yet? Either of you?
I have.
You have?
I've used Zoom before. Yeah.
So
I have that, and I just downloaded Skype too, but it wasn't working. There was some sign-in errors and all that.
I'm sorry, man. The point of
That wasn't your fault.
the point of the link, because Zoom, it operates where you just send a link and you just click on the link and you're in the bot, right? You're in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Skype, in response to that, Skype did it. But the only problem with Zoom is that they have these what are they called? The sound filter. What are those called? Noise filters. That block out any other noise but your voice.
Right.
Do they need more volume? Okay.
And you have multiple cameras on you.
Good. I love it.
Okay.
I got both angles. I love this.
Okay.
This is perfect. Awesome. So Skype released this, and it's supposed to be the answer to Zoom. The problem with Zoom is the noise filters, and it's the fact that it times out if you have multiple people on the call. So after 45 minutes, it times out. So Skype was like, let's make something that doesn't time out, and because Skype was the leader of all this in the first place, so it's really interesting. Anyways, welcome to Skype Talk. I hope you guys are enjoying our talk. We're here. We're gonna spend the next 3 hours talking about Skype and Zoom. So great. So press play. Please don't feel lonely, and if you want to jump in the conversation, please do. But I'm going to start with Ray because that's what I was intended. So please just sit tight, hang out, and if you feel like you want to talk, let's talk. But Ray, thank you so much.
Gotcha.
Press play. Fuck yeah, you guys are awesome. So you got these new songs coming out. I had no idea that you rapped. Like, I've seen you play with Everyday Peoples, and we met at the casino.
Whatever
the heck that
Toledo's Got Talent.
Yes.
Toledo's Got Talent.
We met at Toledo's Got Talent, and we lost to a magician.
Yeah, that was great though.
No,
he was pretty good.
No, he was good.
I was impressed.
He was really good, and it was an interesting experience. How many do you do those a lot? Do you guys enter those kind of contests a lot?
No. Primarily, I'm an MC. I've been I've been rapping since I was 10. I actually been recording professionally since I was 15.
Oh, no kidding.
And so I mean, I come from a real musical family, and I play instruments. All my sons play instruments, but hip hop was my thing, and I had a little tiny stint in the industry in the '90s, and I could always sing. I produce, I sing, and I always kind of steered away from the singing because I didn't want to get put in a box as a singer.
Right.
So honestly, I was reluctant to even start with this band. I was in a band a while ago with a good friend of mine, Reggie Truss, and our drummer Daryl Steele, called T City Groove. And while I was on leave, I'm a railroad conductor by day and night.
Awesome.
So I was on leave.
Oh, that's dope.
Hell yeah.
I was on leave. Nah, it ain't.
No, it ain't. He said no, it ain't.
But yeah, I was on leave, and so I joined this band because a good friend of my brother's, he told his friend about me. So I went over there, and so I started rocking with them. Got called back to work, so that kind of, I kind of lost connection with them. And then situation came about where I was on leave again, reconnected with Reggie, and we got together and did this little, what was that, the OSDN Festival.
Okay.
And everything just kind of, we just hit the ground running. It just kind of, stemmed from there, and, we just formed a musical family, and we still rocking.
Well, there's a lot to unpack there that you just said. First of all, you're from a musical family. So in what facet, like, what did your parents play? Like, how did you get involved in that?
Well, my mom, she actually, the type of music I do, she wasn't feeling it. She grew up, she was hardcore church. If it wasn't about, gospel, she wasn't, so actually when I started recording, I had to hide my demos so she wouldn't throw them away.
Yeah.
But what's crazy is, in retrospect, I understand why, because her brother, her older brother, he was a music. All of her brothers were musicians, and one of them, he actually played in a band with Howlin' Wolf.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, and she heard all of the stories of the horrible lifestyle that he lived, so she was like, "My son ain't gonna be doing none of that," So, so I get it, So she,
Yeah.
but and then all my sisters sing, my brothers sing, somebody. When I was little, I thought everybody played at least one instrument. I taught myself how to play piano when I was 4. You can't
Oh.
tell now, but but yeah. So, and I also recently discovered that my father's cousin is one of the founder members of Motown. Her name is Janie Bradford. I just found that out a couple of years ago,
Oh,
and we
nice.
just connected. And
Yeah.
she's a song. She wrote Money. They say the best things in life are free.
Free.
She wrote that.
I
And,
want
yeah,
money.
yeah. Her and Barry Gordy wrote that. So I just
Dang.
found out that that's a
That's
relative of mine, and
that's
we've
in
been
your blood.
corresponding.
That's in your
Yeah. So
blood.
yeah, and I have a nephew
Dang.
who's out in
Music
Jersey.
royalty right here, folks.
Right. I have a nephew out in Jersey. He goes by Marley the Martian, and he's produced for like Fabulous, Jada Kiss. He's currently in the industry now. You can Google him. He's released music, and he's been involved on the production side with a lot of people like Raekwon the Chef,
Oh,
Troy Ave. He has a few artists under his label as well. Shout out to my nephew Marley.
okay. Shout out,
You
man.
know,
So you got your parents played music or no? Did they
my
actually
dad,
play
my mom
instruments?
my mom and dad sang. All my well, not all, but a lot of my older siblings, played instruments like through
Gotcha.
school or whatever,
Hmm.
and I just kind of soaked all of that up, and whatever I can get my hands on, I try to get some noise out of it.
I feel
But hip hop is just
is what.
what you know what. When I heard the song that did it for me was Grandmaster Flash, "The Message."
Hmm.
When I heard that, it's like this is me. I got to be a part of this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what got me into that.
So you
Yeah.
said that you had a little stint in the '90s that where you're doing something. Tell me
hmm
about that.
Well, I moved to Benton Harbor, Michigan for school, like I think in like '92,
Oh.
and I've been pursuing music, like I said, since I was 15, and I connected with some people, and just everywhere I went, I would be rapping. Like some people got tired of it. Like any conversation that turned into 16 bars for me or freestyle. I was that guy that people be like, "Shut up, man! Can't you just talk while you
Yeah.
he always rapping?" And so I would battle people. I made beats as well. So the different people that I encountered, that led me to the first major artist I opened for was Spice One.
Oh yeah,
You know,
Spice One. Oh my God,
and
dude, Spice
yeah,
One. Okay, so that is so cool because Spice One, Oakland cat, right?
yeah, yeah.
Spice One, dude. My band that I'm still active with, we have a song with Spice One on it, and
Really,
Rappin' Forte. I don't know if you ever heard
I
Rappin'
remember
Forte.
him. I remember him. Yeah.
Rappin' Forte, we have a song on there with them. No, we love that old school Oakland sound,
Oh
man.
yeah, oh yeah,
I
yeah.
lived
He
in
did a lot. Yeah.
I lived in San Diego for about 13 years, and I moved back to Toledo about 3 years ago. So
hmm
I still have a bunch of ties out there, and the band that I'm still active with, we just the lead singer, he actually lives in the same little town in Central Valley, California that Spice
Oh
lives
wow,
in. Yeah,
wow.
they're like homies.
Yeah.
Him and please.
Also met from Vallejo, California. In Too Deep.
Oh yeah. I've
Yeah,
heard
I got
that.
that. I've
Okay,
opened for them before, like
nice.
in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Hell yeah.
Too Short. I got to meet Tupac.
Oh
A lot of
no.
people, man.
Okay,
Yeah.
so tell me, so I've had people on the show who had direct experiences with Tupac,
Yeah.
and to say it nicely, okay, I won't say it nicely. He said, "quote I wish I would have been the one who shot that." Well, I'm not gonna say the other part
Right.
of it, but I'm the one I wish he was the one who because he worked directly to studio with him, and
Right. Right.
he said that there was an incident where Pac was mad because somebody pulled out the wrong ADAT tape which is just another way of recording onto.
Right. I remember ADATs.
Hey, and then the engineer, he was just this little white kid, and he brought out the wrong tape, and Pac, he's ready to go, he's ready to spit, and they play the wrong beat, and he's mad.
He probably lost it.
He doesn't say anything. He just walks out to the booth and just knocks his kid out, and he was just like, what in the
Well, my experience was different.
Oh yes, so that's where we're going here. I want to know, because I'm hearing all the stories about Pac and how big of an asshole he was. There's no way you can say that Pac wasn't a huge influence on hip hop music and culture in general. You can't take anything away from him, but artists can be assholes. It happens. The ego gets out of control sometimes. But please,
I'm sure being a creative yourself, you come across all kinds of different personalities.
You do.
We some weird people, man. We don't fit in a lot of places.
For real.
One thing I can say, my experience, Pac was a passionate person.
Yes.
And it was a brief. We didn't hang out or anything, but that was the first person on that level that I was like starstruck. Because everybody else, I rub elbows with like people like MC Breed, Too Short, and I felt like I was up and coming with them, but when I met Pop, he was just so much more than an artist. He was something else. He was a revolutionary for one.
Sure.
And so I didn't want to come out as this phrase wasn't even coined in, but I didn't want to come off as a stan. You know what I mean? So I was trying to kind of like just be in his eye shot. I didn't want to hound him or anything.
No, totally.
But what's funny is he peeped that out, and we were at an after party, and he pulled me to the side, and he was like, "All right, man, let's chop it up or whatever." So we sat down at a table, and I knew I was going to meet him, but I didn't think about what I was going to say or what the kind of conversation was going to go. So I was just babbling. I don't even remember what I was saying. I just. Me and my dude Swift we from Ohio. Okay, I went by the name of Mr. Right back then. So I'm Mr. Right. So did you like the song? And I'm just babbling, and he just looked at me. He goes, "Get to the point," So I was like, all right. So I kind of got a swing of things where it comes to like a local and regional, marketing music or whatever. Basically I was saying like, put me on. How back then it's like. You come across a celebrity, it's like, well, put me on, I'm talented. So that's kind of how I was coming. And, he cut me off and he was like, honestly, to tell you the truth, man, I got homies that's been waiting in the wings for years that I, bled and sweat and cried with, and they've been waiting. And, I really can't do nothing for you as far as pushing your career. He said, but I wish you luck, man. I really wish you luck. And it sounded sincere.
Yeah.
And looking back at that point, I come across a lot of people, and I'm sure y'all have too. They do a lot of spinning. You get a lot of different numbers, and hey, well, call my guy, and we can meet. You know what I mean? And they be on that BS.
Yes.
So he was straight to the point, like, hey, man, we'll keep doing what you're doing, but I can't help you. And he was real. That was the first time somebody was that honest. And he was the type of dude, man. You might find him in the after hours or a club or somebody or some little hood chicken and waffle spot. Like you look over, is that Pop? You know what I mean? Like he was that type of dude. You know what I mean? So it was a little brief experience. We didn't really make no connections or whatever, but that was something that stayed with me. That was an experience that was very inspirational. Out of all the different people that I've met.
You gotta appreciate those experiences, man. Hey, Whisper Glitter, I saw that you dropped some biddies. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. You're awesome. And then Whispering Glitter, hold on guys, just give me 1 second. I gotta check our chat here. Before live ends, guest sing or perform. I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but we can ask. Do you wanna
What's that?
Well, they want Whisper Glitters in the chat. She wants a live performance at the end of this. I don't know how that will work, and I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to do that. But if they're feeling so inclined, or if Ray or either one are feeling like they want to spit a verse, that's totally up to them. But no pressure on all that.
I got you.
But
I can say you can check me out on Spotify.
there you go.
Unkle Ray, Unkle Ray. And we try everyday people trying to get back out there, but with this quarantine stuff.
This quarantine. No.
No, you come check us out there.
What I was saying about Pog before I started getting in the chat. Hey, Shelly, I'm going to give you your points back just because I don't want to force these guys to do anything they're not comfortable with, and they wouldn't. It's not like I have the power to force them to do anything anyways, but no, I appreciate that out of artists, especially artists who have any kind of clout, to be forthright and upfront with you. Because like you said, there's a lot of BS out there. There's a lot of people talking about, I can do this for you, I can do that for you, or what can you do for me? And I think, and honestly, I'd prefer, if I was talking to Tupac, I would prefer someone. In fact, I'm used to that all the time with the show. There was a guest that I really wanted to talk to. I'm a huge fan, and he was responding to my emails, and it was right at the beginning of the pandemic. And he never got back. It was time to finalize and lock it in, and he never got back to me. So I hit him up again the next week just to follow up. And I was like, "Hey man, I just want to," and he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry I didn't respond. No, this is not something I'm interested in doing right now. Thanks." And then that was it. And I was like, you know what, man?
That's all I ask.
That's
all I ask.
Some people, when it comes to no, it's just like the end of the world. But if
they can't say it,
when people can't say no, or they can't take the word no, like they don't like it to the point where they're like, they get angry and they're mad and resentful because someone told them no, and what they could have done was give them some long drawn out run around, and he's like, oh yeah, here's my fake email, or
spin.
What I mean, the spin, and then all of a sudden, what's worse? I'd rather just have the Band-Aid ripped off right now than just slowly, pull it off scab by scab. So I always appreciate people who are very upfront with me. And I try to be upfront with other people, but man, sometimes when you're working in this business, you work with people that sometimes are a little bit. They can be somewhat. Thank you, Whisper Glitter, for the biddies. I appreciate it. Sorry, but
all right.
But it's just, I'm sorry, I forgot what was it. It's this damn chat. I'm going to get used to this, guys. I'm going to get used to this damn chat and holding a conversation. It's so, difficult, and I'm a stoner, so it's like, oh, man.
I wouldn't be able to focus like that. I think I got ADD or something.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I can't do it. And I want to say that, too, man. Thank you for, inviting me to your platform, man. I appreciate what you're doing. I see what you're doing, and I love it, man. Things like that goes, unnoticed and underappreciated, I think. So, shout out to you, man. I really appreciate you doing that.
I appreciate that very much, man. I sincerely appreciate that, but it's like you guys are the ones that are doing me the favor. So I super duper appreciate you guys coming on and spending time with me, because you could be doing anything else. You could be hanging out with your children. You could be you could be fixing the fucking paint in the garage. Who knows? But you're spending it with me. So as much as you appreciate me, I appreciate you too. So I appreciate. So what happened? So at the beginning of the pandemic, where were you with music and with the band? What was going on at the beginning of all this?
We were back in March. I think that was the last gig we did. And that's when everything started getting canceled all the way up till June.
Right.
I was currently working on a couple of EPs and releasing, a couple of singles here and there while I'm working on an album.
Right.
And, as far as everyday people, we're just kind of trying to grow our fan base and broaden our catalog and work and start going towards some originals.
Yeah. You're going to start doing originals?
Yeah, we noticed, in this area, people are people like what they're familiar with. Mm. So it's kind of hard to break, your own stuff around here. So, we want to get them used to seeing us playing what they familiar with. And, we want to ease into some of our own stuff as well.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, it's I like that idea when bands sort of when they start out and they're doing the cover scene here, especially in a city like Toledo, where honestly the original venues where you can perform original music is really slim around here.
Yeah, it's different. It's other places, man. There's places where people love to hear something they've never heard or people they've never heard from before.
Yeah, totally, man.
Look for that.
Yeah, but you have to look for it because most of the bars that you walk into downtown Toledo, you're going to walk into, it's going to be top 40 or, whatever it is, it's going to be covers.
Right.
And nothing wrong with that. That's where I was making my money. That's how I was living life. I live that life all the time. But I just feel like that kind of gets stale after a while. You have to sort of throw in some originals to keep things going.
Mm-hmm.
Presley, what were you doing? Where were you musically when the pandemic hit?
I was working on an EP, and I was about to start putting out singles for it, which Faded was one of them. And then the pandemic hit, and I'm like, all right, well, I can't finish the EP now because the studio's closed, so I had to push everything back.
Oh shit! So you were in the middle of releasing something. Were you like putting something together for like a full album?
No, I was just gonna do like a 9-track EP.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And that was gonna come out on May 2nd.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so it was like final stages, and I needed one more feature done from a guy in New York, and his studio got shut down. So, and it's still shut down, so I gotta wait till that's done. But now the entire EP's changed, so it might be an album now at this point. Who knows?
Oh, that's cool. So kind of going back to Ray, when all this struck, how did you react creatively to this, or did you react creatively?
Actually, it was wonderful creatively because it kind of gave me the space to create more. You know what I mean? It kind of minimized distractions. It gave me a lot of time to sit with my thoughts and allowed me to look at what direction I wanted to take with it. So actually, this was kind of a good thing with me. You know what I mean? I record at home. Not that I do all my pre-production and stuff at home. You know what I mean? I like to go. So yeah, going other places did kind of affect that.
Yeah.
But luckily, I'm blessed to have friends and family members that I can go on and go over and use their equipment as well too. So,
In what way were you able to? In what way did your creativity sort of start blossoming? Like, what was it? I mean, besides having the free time, what specifically was sort of happening? Because you said it sort of gave you time to think about the direction of where you wanted to take it.
Yeah, well, first of all, I've been sitting as people. One of my brothers, man, close friend of mine. We've been collabing for years. Shout out to Black Sun. He's been telling me for years, man, I've been sitting on so much music. I mean, decades of music. And, it's never, I'm a perfectionist too. So I'm like, it ain't done. It ain't done. So, they finally talked me into releasing some of this stuff. And I'm kind of, the time where I was flourishing, that's back in the hard copy days. We used to sell CDs after shows and, press our own. We weren't looking to get signed anymore. We were doing our own thing. Yeah. And, with the streaming, that changed a lot of that. And it took me a while to find my way through that. I knew how to market and move around, when the market was like that, but people ain't buying music no more. It's not really profitable for an independent person as it used to be. So that kind of made me reluctant to do that. But Black Sun, I got a chance to meet Bushwick Bill too some years ago, and he told me, nice. it's easier now than it was when I started off. He's seen it as a blessing as opposed to a curse like I saw it. With the digital streaming and all that. He said, no, it's easier than ever now.
Oh, because go ahead.
Because you can get it out to more people easier.
Yeah,
because we used to press up press kits. With the glossy photo, and put them in the envelope. Send them. You had to make sure it was the right A&R person, and now you can do that with a click of a button. So that's it's definitely some blessings and curses to it.
Well, it's interesting to have the next generation of producers with us because Press Play here it does rather well with the streaming. He does well on his SoundCloud.
Right.
Pressplay, can you speak on this a little bit from your perspective, at having the success of your SoundCloud plays and how you've been handling your releases? Can you talk on this a little?
I mean, he's right. I mean, essentially, like right now, it's super easy to like get started with everything. It's like there's really no excuse anymore for people to not get started at this point. It's just
Right.
it like literally you can do everything yourself now. You don't need to hire like a manager. You can be your own manager. You
Right.
can be completely independent.
Right.
Get your stuff to these labels.
With
Absolutely.
SoundCloud.
And
Oh, please go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I was just gonna say you can like, make your own fan base. You don't need to rely on a label to get you a fan base.
Right.
Right.
The
Right.
gatekeepers are gone now, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
But with your SoundCloud, and I know SoundCloud has started a monetization program, right? And so you can sort of monetize the music that's doing on there. Have you seen any results of that? I'm not asking for like your check, like how much you get paid or anything, but have you seen any results from that? Because you do have a good amount of plays, and with that monetization, I'm sure there's some kind of something. Is there something?
Yeah. No, SoundCloud actually is my highest form of like revenue when it comes to like music streaming,
Really?
which a lot of people don't like. They think, oh, because I'm on Apple Music and Spotify and all that stuff, that's going to be my number one in terms of like getting income. But my fan base is really all on SoundCloud. And so I'll put out a song and people may see it as like, oh, it's on SoundCloud, I'm not going to stream it.
Right.
But in reality, like that's where all my money's coming from off of music is SoundCloud.
Right.
Cool.
And so have you broke down the numbers on like how much per stream? And like, have you done that? Have you ever looked at those yet?
I get paid. It's about the same as like
about the same.
Spotify. Like
Yeah.
Like a Spotify, like a non-premium Spotify account. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just curious if there's a difference because I mean with YouTube, monetization is I think it's like almost what is that penny a play? I'm not sure if you guys. I think it's something.
Yeah, something like that.
They pay the highest out of it, which a penny a play, which is so funny to say. It's like my song is worth 1 penny a play.
Right. That's why I miss.
Right.
Man, I used to sell, I'm going to say it, tapes, cassette tapes. Some people don't even know what that is anymore. My son, I remember I found an old tape, and my son thought it was like some old movie or something. He's like, you watch a movie on this? It's like, no, we used to play music off of that. That's...
Watch a movie on this thing? Press play, do you know what a tape is?
Right.
Press play knows what a tape is. He's a young man.
Yeah, barely, but I know.
Barely, huh? See, so imagine you coming from that era trying to put your stuff out in the interwebs.
So how is that transition for you coming from?
It's crazy. It's crazy. Like I'm listening to him. I'm soaking up what he's saying too because like from my perspective, it just seems like the game is so saturated now. What's different from then, like you had to be on the ground and you had to be in people's face. It was something you could touch. Well, they bought the CDs and posters because they met us. They heard our music. They seen us live. Now it's like, and plus like the quality that I can achieve in recording home is now just as good as what I, used to get going to a studio. I had to pay $50 to $100 an hour to record at. Now all of that is in a computer program, so it's more accessible. So any and everybody could just sit in their basement or their bathroom and make an album. So, I think that creates an obstacle for getting people to your music because there's so many people doing it. That's how it looks from my perspective.
And then so like for you, Press Play, when you're having these when you do get like those high stream counts and stuff, what are you essentially doing? I mean, because maybe you could fill in the blanks for Ray here. I mean, fill in the blanks for me because I don't know. I don't know how that shit works. I tell you, I don't know how SoundCloud works. It is such a weird, like, the way they count. I don't even think SoundCloud knows the way they count plays and stuff, especially for podcasts, because I'm a podcaster, and they host my my podcast. So I don't know how it works.
Right.
I don't know how they're counting. I don't, it's just such a strange thing. So, I mean, help us help us press play. How do you navigate it, and what was your attack on the whole situation?
Basically, I just started off doing like remixes and stuff or mashups, really, of just like other people's songs, and using that as kind of like a platform to get my SoundCloud account out there, bring people in, and then I started doing original music. And granted, not all of them were so like willing to go to my original music at first, but since like I've been dropping a little bit more consistently the original music, they've been able to just like, I don't know, go to that more willingly, I guess.
Consistency is definitely key too. The consistency.
Facts. Yeah.
Right. I'm gonna check you out too. I this is my first time. Nice meeting you. You know what I'm saying?
Nice meeting you.
Yeah, sorry guys, I didn't even introduce you guys. I was just all right, we're doing stuff.
No, but to my understanding, like SoundCloud like counts like streams or plays, like if like someone checks out, I think it's the first like 30 seconds of a song or the last 15.
Yeah, I heard that.
Something like that. Yeah. So if you can get people to listen to 30 seconds of your song, you're good.
Mm-hmm. That's why people's intros are so damn long. I'm noticing. I'm like, man, everybody intros like 5-minute intros. So that's probably why they
get that 15-second intro.
Right.
Get that 15-second.
Well, but I mean, like, all jokes aside, does that make you? I mean, do you think about when you're making a song? Do you think about it in that terms, like in that first 15 seconds, I need to grab? Well, no.
I just create, man. I pretty much it's like, it's like to me, everybody says wave. Like when I create, my creative process is, I try to, sometimes I start with with a track, or sometimes I start with the verses. Sometimes, something comes in my head. It's really no set way, but I can't sit there and like, hey, I'm gonna sit here and write a song. The song writes itself. I find that spot within that wave and ride it, and it comes out. You know what I mean? I don't sit here and say, I'm going to write a song about this. I just, when that feeling comes, it's there, and I just let it roll. And then whatever, and record whatever happens during that time. That's pretty much it. So I'm not thinking, even, like I come from a time, even this, like 8-bar verses, 8-bar choruses, 16-bar verses, and like that. Even them perimeters are I don't like that. You know what I mean? Because now it's almost like everybody's attention span is like smaller now because things are getting put into these little boxes. So we're being conditioned. Like if you hear a song for more than 3.5 minutes, you're gonna get bored with it now. Because it's like, because we're conditioned. If you listen to the radio, which I don't much, but you listen to the radio, it's 3.5 minutes. Either the DJ is coming in, or the song is ending. So people are creating, to fit those expectations. Back in the day, you put Parliament on, you didn't know Knee Deep was like 15 minutes long. You weren't counting, you know what I mean? And you didn't want it to go off after the 15 minutes. You wanted to hear more.
Those are dance
so
tracks.
Now we're just kind of so now we're just kind of stuck in. I hate boxes like that.
Me too, man.
I want to create, man. I want to create.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. We're gonna come back to creation. Thank you so much, Whisper Glitter. I appreciate it. Whisper Glitter remembers when cassette tapes, making New Kids on the Block. She said she was making a New Kids on the Block, and NSYNC, and Coolio, Vitamin C cassette tapes back in the day. That is quite a mix-up there.
Damn. Damn.
Coolio.
Hey, ask her, does she remember when they used to get twisted and you had to take the pencil? You had to...
Do you, Whisper Glitter, do you remember? You remember when they'd get all twisted up and you'd have to get in there? Press play.
You had to. You had to be a doctor. You had to be a surgeon on it. Especially if it was one of your favorites. Yeah. You know what I mean? You had to get in there, man. Save his life.
It was crazy. But now what's interesting about all that tape stuff is that it's coming back. And it's coming back. That lo-fi
vinyl.
Yeah, vinyl but like the idea of I mean, there's people out there recording entire albums onto a cassette tape, for instance, me and my wife, our last album we released, it was all recorded on the tape. It was all done with analog instruments, real instruments, none of this in the box shit. But people are actually using cassette tape. Now, this is beyond just like analog. This is like people are like recording their whole albums on tape and putting it out, and it's doing well. You know, people are doing well with it.
Also, like as far as the sound quality, you know, digital is good, but it steals from some characteristics that analog recording provides. You know, there's a certain like warmth and there's just different things I can't really explain that you can get that the average person don't really notice what it is. There's a difference in the sound.
There's definitely
that comes out of that.
There's a depth to it. I like because like for instance, and I'm not sitting here just trying to big up my wife's album 1018 now available on all streaming platforms.
No, shout out Reina Mystique. Mystique. Yeah.
But
I got that CD too.
Oh, thank you guys. Thank you. Again, so. This is what I like. One day I was in the car. I didn't have my phone. I forgot it, and I was like, "Damn it!" So I had our CD in the glove box, and I had never actually listened to the CD. And we paid more to get this damn album mastered than we did to record it and pay the musicians.
Right.
Pay the musicians. And
yes.
And this is just a master. Like mixing wasn't even like mixing and recording and capture. The mastering was the big chunk. But it was worth it. So I remember putting in the CD, and I know that we're talking about sound quality, and there's something about the analog, but because it was analog and because the way it was mastered on an analog console. That's why we paid so much to do it. Mm-hmm. You actually were able. They captured that depth of field, and I was like it was like listening to the album. A different album because of the way you could hear it, and then you listen to it on Spotify, and it just sounds like a flat piece of.
Yes.
You know those dogs with flat faces, the pugs. That's what it sounded like. It just sounded like a flat pug face. Like man, it was just. It's just it's not.
Right. I used to mix my songs on the Mackie. You know what I mean? Like I just press unmute and mute tracks as they're doing. You know, like that's how I used to do it.
Live mixing. You know? I love that.
Right.
I love that, and you see that a lot. Like, have you ever seen those guys like in Tough Gong, like Bob Marley back in the day, where they're doing that live console mix, and when they're doing like dubs and stuff, they just have like an Echoplex or a spring reverb in the line in the effects chain, and they would just trigger it live as they were going, and that's how they would do those dub remixes.
Exactly.
I love that, and even Pink Floyd. If you ever watch the old documentary with Pink Floyd where they're recording Dark Side of the Moon, you see them live mixing like 16 tracks, and all of them are just in a row, and it's like a live performance, which is really interesting. Much. It's really interesting that you're taking this idea of capturing maybe a live performance, actually capturing a live performance, and then the actual mix of it is a live performance all of itself.
And itself. Yeah. Yep. It's like playing an instrument. You got to know when do I want to take that out, when I want to just mute everything at this point, you know what I mean, and then bring everything, and you can mute the wrong thing, you know what I mean. It's like playing an instrument, man. It's really like playing an instrument.
It truly is, and I mean, even for like Press Play, who probably is mostly you work in the box, right? You mostly work within a program, but even I don't know. Have you had any experience with like analog mixers and stuff, or is most of your experiences in the box? Yeah, I mean,
Logic Pro X.
Oh, I love Logic. I mean, no, I gotta take that back. I don't love Logic. I actually don't love it, but that's what I have. But Ableton is my shit. That's where I flourished as a
which one?
Ableton.
Okay.
Ableton, live and but I had Logic because I got.
I used to have Ableton.
Yeah, I love Ableton, man.
Yeah, that's why I got it.
For me, the workflow was better, but Logic, the learning curve for me was just killed me. So I'm finally there.
I'm still learning it.
There's too much. There's too much.
Yeah. My sons and my nephews swear by that, and they act like it's so easy, and I'm just super. I don't know what I'm doing on that, and
Oh,
they
yeah.
think I'm this old, Neanderthal trying to figure this, you know.
So you're
They don't even
chill.
like
Oh, there it
recording
is.
with me,
There. Oh, look, he has his hotkeys all marked. Wallace Ableton. Wallace Nelson says Ableton. That's not a real DAW. Hey, you know what, Wallace? You know what? I happen to like. Thank you, Whisper Glitter, for the biddies, and I know I'm having a hard time with the chat, guys. I'm trying to stay with you guys, so just stay with me, guys.
Trying to as well.
I don't even see a chat.
Oh yeah, no, because I don't even.
It's on Twitch.
It's on Twitch. So like where this is broadcasting, there's a chat. And so, again, guys, if you do have questions for our guests, please do. I have they're called speaker points because it's We Speak English Good. And you can cash those in you can ask a question to the guest if you have one. So feel free to throw it in there and we'll ask it as we go. So, we're in a really weird time as Americans, and I just kind of wanted to get you guys' opinion. I feel like, a lot of times people don't want to hear from artists or musicians, but I feel like if you have a platform, I feel like that you should. Maybe you don't have to. That's the big thing. He's like you shouldn't feel. Well, I don't. But that's the other part. Yeah. Well, you do obviously, and for good reason. For good reason. But it's not like I'm forcing this on anybody. This kind of discussion, and that's what I'm trying to say. I don't feel like anybody has to come on here and talk about it. So if you guys don't want to like go in this realm, but with all the social unrest right now and with what's going on, protests and with this coronavirus, I mean, how are you guys feeling? Like, what's your feeling right now? Like, what's your general feeling about what's going on right now?
You want to go press play? You want to go first? Okay.
You go first on this one.
Right,
I know this is a tough one. We don't have this thing.
Actually, I mean, even with this, when this pandemic first started off, I don't want to get, I know I respect everybody's belief system or whatever, but to me, it was just it just seemed like it was inevitable. It seems like nature has a way of cleaning, like people be saying, save the planet. No, the planet gonna be fine. We need to save ourselves. We keep fucking up. That's what's gonna happen, So,
no, I feel you.
But on that note, as far as the like the rioting and everything and the protest, this ain't nothing new.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This has been going on for a long time. Thanks. And it just keeps repeating itself. And what's going on now, I mean, the only difference with this is like the whole world is seeing this now.
Right.
The whole world is responding to this now. And it was inevitable. When you go back, we can go all the way back to Emmett Till and before him, and it was the same response. You had people that were actually in opposition of us saying, we're just as valuable as you are. That's all it's saying. It's like we're not more valuable than anybody else, but we are just as human as you are. We've been saying that for over 100 years. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's falling on deaf ears. I hear a lot of people. I try not to engage in certain things on Facebook, political things or racism, whatever. But it's a real thing. It's an elephant in the room we can't ignore no more. It's right in your face.
Yeah.
And some people have had the privilege of not having to worry about it because it don't affect them like it affects others.
Yeah.
And to some people this is new. This is new news. Oh, I had no idea. But to me, and man, when I was 8 years old, I went to my uncle's funeral who was murdered by what they say it was the Klan down south. I'm from Missouri originally. So I grew up hearing all kinds of hateful stuff. Yeah. Behind that. And I feel personally like if I can look beyond your race or if I can not be a racist, I don't think anybody else got an excuse to. You know what I mean? Because, I was 8 years old. I heard some things that could have planted hate deep in my heart. You know what I mean? Going to a closed casket funeral. You know what I mean? So if I can get past racism, I don't see how nobody else can. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
and one more thing about that.
No, as much as you want, man.
I keep hearing people like when people talk about George Floyd or Tamir Rice, or we could go on and on and on, and shout out, God bless all of their souls. But
Thanks.
I keep hearing this reoccurring response uh, to negate or the attempt to negate like the movement of Black Lives Matter or whatever, anything that's against that, by quoting Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
They always say, "Oh, well, Martin Luther, if they're rioting or any uprising to stand for this bullshit is met." Well, what would Martin Luther King do? Because we were taught in history, the peaceful side of Martin Luther King, but we forget about the fact that they was throwing rocks at his motherfucking head too when he was saying it. The same opposition we getting from, like Trump's base and everything, the same opposition we're getting from them. That's what, our fathers and grandfathers, people were saying the same. You know what I mean? He wasn't loved while he was alive. He was demonized while he was alive by the mainstream. Yeah. He wasn't popular then, and he was ultimately murdered. So what does peace do for you? You know what I mean? So it's real easy to bring up Martin Luther King. Honestly, I love both of them gentlemen, but I'm more Malcolm than I am Martin. I'll just tell you that.
No, because there was a lot of focus. There was a lot of focus on the riots because, and there was a lot of people, and personally, and I can sit here and probably say it because I'm safe in my fucking suburban home, but like I don't believe in violence, and I don't believe in looting, and that to me I didn't approve of it, but I'm not gonna...
the looting. No, I'm not with looting. Not to cut you off.
No. But, please. I'm
not. I don't. Anybody that knows me well knows that I'm the most least violent person that you can come across. But just like Malcolm say, violence ain't violence when it's in self-defense.
Exactly. And that's kind of where I was going.
Right. But as far as the looting, that's. Anybody in their right mind knows it's wrong to go stealing a TV or breaking a window ain't got shit to do with what's going on. But people do silly things when they're angry. Yeah. And like King says, a riot is the voice of the unheard. We've been unheard for a long time. Right. So, these are the repercussions. Exactly. And I don't condone any type of any ignorant actions towards it. But that's a small portion of the reaction of what's going on.
Exactly.
So people like to magnify that small part of the reaction and just totally, disregard the fact that when people kneeled peacefully, with Kaepernick to be specific, look at how people's response was to that. So now people are angry. Now it's like, oh, look at them, they're acting a fool. Well, small group of people are doing stupid shit. They was gonna do stupid shit before that anyway. But we can't focus on that little small part and just say, oh, this is wrong. Yeah. Let's look at the reason why this is happening.
Yeah, it's like we can't. What makes a person feel like they have to go out and steal what they need or what they don't need? What is that that causes a person?
No, those are just opportunities.
I agree.
Those are just opportunities.
But the bigger dialogue here. But the bigger dialogue is what is driving people to do that. And of course, there's bad apples, but there's also this. But there's also you have to take into account. It's like what the hell. What have these people been through that like would drive them to that? Even if it is just a simply, I just want to go get shit that I can't afford, So silly. So when you hear a phrase like defund the police, what does that mean to you? Both of you.
I'm gonna let him go because I was talking a lot, so I'm gonna let him go.
No, it's cool. Thank you, Mighty, for the bits. Go ahead.
Wait, hold on. What was the question? My bad.
It's okay.
Cut out.
So with because there's a lot of stuff going around, a lot of change, a lot of people want change, and absolutely, completely acceptable, for people to want change.
Absolutely.
But when you hear a phrase like defund the police, what does it mean to you, and how does that affect you? And I don't know how far you've looked into it, So I mean, if you're not like familiar with what it even means, like you're totally on the path. But I mean, what does it mean to you just on a surface basis, and how much do you know about it?
Honestly, when it comes to like the defund the police thing, I don't really know a lot about it. But like, I mean, like, I get it. So like, from what I have heard, like, I get it. Because why fund people that are just gonna kill you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's one of the arguments. But I don't know. But I'll go to you, Unkle Ray. What does it mean to you?
As far as I don't really other than like headlines or whatever, and just hearing that phrase, I haven't really researched anything about it. But I will say my personal experience and plenty of people that I know and love that are close to me. My experience with the police in general, not all, you can't say all, but has never been a good one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've been pulled over and searched walking down the street, as a teenager. I've been had a gun pointed to me. I've been closed off by cops on my way to work, and because I fit the description. And they asked me for I'm just 4:00 in the morning. I'm driving down the door, and just because they said they were looking for a black male in a blue Jeep Commander. I'm in a black Commander with a blue shirt on, so I was close enough. I mean, they closed me off and all, and I could go on. I've had my trunk searched, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So I didn't grow up with the cops coming around the neighborhood helping get cats out of trees and we'll go and we'll go home before I tell your dad, that type of shit. I work with people and I know people that's been their experience. That ain't been mine.
Right.
There's as far as defunding the police, I don't know if that's the answer. Me personally, I don't call the police because I don't look at them as somebody that's going to aid me. And you know what? One time I did call the police. I'm not going to get into that story, but they didn't come till 4 hours later. And they've always been there when I didn't need them to harass me, and they've never been there. Okay, I'm sorry, two. There was a gentleman on my way to work. There was a guy laying in the middle of the ground, looked like he overdosed.
Oh shit! Yeah.
So I called 911 for that.
Well, I mean, and that's just the human thing to do.
That's just when I need assistance, or I feel like that's the last thing I'm thinking. Like, I need to call the police to help me because it's not been my experience that they're there to help me. Yeah. And if you research where the whole police culture comes from, then you'll understand why I don't look at them as aid for me or anybody that looks like me.
And you're referencing because they were born out of going and captured, escaped slaves. Yes. So,
absolutely. And that mentality hasn't been far removed from what you can see.
Yeah, and I do appreciate you saying that, because I have family members who are cops, and and obviously I've had a different experience. I've had one bad experience where they actually, I don't even look Mexican, but they called me out of my name, which I am Mexican, but I don't look that. If you meet me, I don't really look that. But for whatever reason, because I was walking down the street at 2 a.m, they were like, and then racial stuff. Anyways, I don't know. That was one incident. This is not a lifetime of getting beat down and not physically, but mentally. That is a mental beat down your whole life to have to worry about looking over your shoulder from the people who are supposed to fucking protect you.
Exactly.
But yeah, man, it's just the idea. I guess I was asking because the phrase itself, defund the police, it can be incendiary, but at one time so was black people voting. That was an incendiary idea as well.
Right.
But what I've been reading and what I've been understanding is we're talking about reallocating funds here, because what's happening is we're sending people with GEDs with guns to a fucking.
I can get a cop quicker than I could be a barber.
Right, that's what I saw that meme too.
To become a cop. Well, not me. I probably have to go through some more hoops, to be honest.
Well, yes,
we're a minority there too.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's Wallace is trying to show me the disruption. Yes, Siri. What does Wallace say? The color of law. Uh, at We Speak English, you fit the description. Yeah, I know, man. He wasn't talking about Siri. Yeah, Wallace. It was a weird situation. I was drunk, and of course I was running my mouth, but like,
Yeah.
it was one of those situations where like you didn't even know. Like, how did you even see me in the dark to know to call me a racial slur that fit me? And that it's just so weird how protected they feel that they can just do these things.
That they can do that.
And that's where I'm kind of going, where I was kind of going with, like, all cops aren't horrible people because I got them in my family and they're good people, but they are a part of an institution that's protected. And that's what
system.
Yes. And that's what I like about the idea of defund the police, even though that's kind of an incendiary term and that's going to turn a lot of people off, but it also gets people talking. And what's so interesting right now is that people are actually talking about doing real change, not just people forcing people to not be racist, but actually let's talk about funding areas of let's talk about fucking getting Flint some clean drinking water.
Some water.
Motherfucking highest black population. Hey Amazon, if you really want to help black people, fucking take all that money that you save by not paying taxes and invest all those billions of dollars into fucking getting clean drinking water for Flint and fucking spare the Black Lives Matter hashtags. Do some real fucking shit because that's just some fucking
money talks. Money talks.
And these corporations who are fucking under the guise of fucking, which I get the argument that it's a good thing that we're incorporating, people of color. It's been beautiful to see mixed people on the big screen. It's been beautiful to see black people and brown people. It's been wonderful. The last 10 years have been great seeing that. But they're just capitalizing, and they're all in it for this profit, and they're capitalizing on this, and none of that profit, and none of the tax dollars from that profit that we're putting into them are going back into communities that support these movies. They aren't doing shit with that money, but keeping it in their pocket or putting it offshore somewhere. You want to do some real work, Target? You want to do some real work, fucking Starbucks? Fucking take all that money that you save from all those tax breaks that your buddies in Washington give you and fucking actually invest it in some fucking neighborhoods in South Chicago, in Flint, in Detroit. Fucking do some real
work. Put your money
work.
where your mouth is.
Put some fucking money. Leave your fucking hashtags at home, bitch. Give me some fucking money. Like, I'm not. I don't need the money. I'm fine. I'm talking about people who really need this. We need fucking programs that keep fucking people. We need to fucking reevaluate.
We need to fix our education
system.
Oh my god.
We need to fucking invest.
I was an educator at one time. Well, I think I still am by nature, but I was actually in a classroom setting. You know what I mean? I was a teacher before, and it's sad. I worked for a charter school system, which people were thinking was a better alternative to the public school, but no, it's not really. It's not really.
Why?
I don't know. You say why?
Yes.
Because
thank you, Reina.
With a charter school, like you and I could write a charter. We don't have to have a degree. We don't have to be educators. We could just, it's like a business. It's set up like a business.
Right.
And you hire people to do it. But what I saw in my experience is that it becomes more about the money than the well-being of these children. And they tend to, not all, but some of them tend to target at-risk youth, right? So, so you got a group of kids with all kinds of different situations and bad environments at home. But I seen situations where you got a child who's there, who's excited about learning, who's doing well, who's picking up on everything, and you got a student who has all of these different initials behind his name, like ADD and all this stuff, who just wants to be a disruption, who doesn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've seen them not being disciplined properly because of the funding that comes behind those. You get what I'm saying?
I do.
Anytime you put money above a purpose, then you're gonna have that, And I guess that that some of that goes with the public school as well. But charter school isn't. In my experience, it's not the better alternative, if you ask me,
Yeah.
because it's just all about the money, and it's
Well,
like that in public school too. But
yeah.
you know,
I've heard different sides of that coin because one thing, I have a good friend who works for a charter school, and he particularly likes it, and it's well ran. And what he likes about it, and what it's in San Diego School District, and the San Diego Unified School District wants to incorporate that into the union, and they don't want to unionize. Which I mean, you're a railroad worker, you're a
yeah,
union worker, so I'm sure you got
right,
your own opinion on that. But what
hmm
he's saying is that he doesn't want the school to become a union because what happens is that you get some of these teachers who get sort of lifed in because of the
I
union. They
get
get
you. Yeah,
protected,
I get it.
and they
Yeah,
get tired of their life. They get tired of their job. They stop caring. They don't give a shit what the kids are doing. They just are there for the paycheck, and so all
I've
of a
seen that
sudden
too.
you have a drop in quality of educators, and subsequently a drop in the quality of education. So
hmm
so he was saying that he doesn't want the union in there, but then on the other hand, unions have done wonderful things,
Yes.
for
Now, is
workers.
he on the administrative side of things?
He's a teacher. He's just a regular teacher.
Oh, okay.
So he's
Yeah,
just
because one of the charter schools I worked for, that's what we did. We unionized, and they didn't like that. But but teachers need to be paid more, man.
yes,
Why teachers need to be paid just like I mean, they're creating our future.
yeah,
Our children
Thanks.
need to be educated. Like, you know, the educational system I came up in sucked. I learned things a lot. I learned a lot of things on my own. I mean, I understand that we need that, but most of the stuff that's been beneficial to my excelling or whatever has been stuff that I researched on my own.
yeah,
There's a lot of stuff that I wasn't that I feel that we all should have been taught. It should have been mandatory in school that we weren't taught, and I think it would have helped us as far as race relationship too, because there's parts of history where, like, okay, you look at the climate now. You have white people who understand our plight, and they write with us. Like, I got friends that's white that they get more pissed than I do sometimes about shit, and I gotta calm them down. Like, chill out, man. Like, no, that's fucked up. You know what I mean? I'm like, so
no, 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 it's
and we
cool.
gotta remember, we gotta remember that there were people, like during the civil rights movement, there were white folks that died right along. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
So I think that there's people who stand to gain from this division. The oldest trick in the book, divide and conquer. So I
yeah,
think, look at the history books we were taught out of.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's I mean, there's literally like, well, lies that, I mean, not just, not adding some stuff to the book. I mean, there's flat out lies in it.
Yeah.
And we're
No,
taught that this is the
Thanks.
truth.
right, and this is this
So
is what we're supposed to have faith in. My son, he was in kindergarten, and he comes home, and it's around Thanksgiving, and he comes home and he's like telling us about the story of the Indians and the Pilgrims, and I'm like, listen, son,
right,
let me tell you a little something about Pilgrims and Indians.
right,
And so
yeah,
he's like, wait a second, they lied to me, and he's
yeah, they
six,
did.
he's six,
Yeah, yeah.
and he's
And that's
like.
hard. That's hard for them to get. Like,
Yes. Why
no.
would they
Yeah.
say that then? They're supposed to teach
hmm
it. And I mean, there's a couple of things that he doesn't like, but he, as a kindergartner, hated school. How do you hate school when you're a kindergarten? You're supposed to be
That's
happy, skipping
yes.
around, fucking,
Right. Coloring
doing.
and shit.
Yeah, like what the fuck? How are you gonna fucking turn a 6-year-old in kindergarten?
Right.
I mean,
But
it's.
he's on the right track, though. You know what I mean? Because
I'm not gonna.
it's the earlier your eyes are open, the better.
Absolutely, and
He's
these
a
are.
smart kid. Y'all
And,
doing a good job.
And
There.
we live on a road that has several Trump flags lining it. So it's like he needs to
Right.
know some shit. And
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
neighborhood it has its fucked up parts of it. I mean, not like it has its fucked up side of it is what I meant. Just in
As does
the
mine.
cops
You know.
and
Yep,
such. And
same.
so I mean, and I know that's what's going on in a lot of places, but I don't know. It's a weird time to be alive, but it's great that we have creativity and we're able to express it. Have you guys heard that new song by, is it Little Baby? Reina, thank you, Whisper Glitter, for the biddies. hold on. Let's catch up. Let's catch up on the thing. Betty Davos is horrible. Yeah, I agree with you there, Wallace. Betty is trying to prevent coronavirus funding going to students. Yeah, that is sad. Fuck that. Fucking Betty Davis. I don't know why they got those people in office. Those people that don't know anything about anything, just in there making policy. It's insane.
I have lost all faith in this political system at this point.
It's disgusting.
It's like a clown show. It's not even real to me. It's like a mental matrix. That's what I call it.
Yeah, for real. Because like, how are we supposed to take this shit seriously? And then like it's just. You know, there's some weird shit with Twitter, and there's some weird shit with what's it called? Oh my God, what's it called when you force someone to not say stuff and you edit someone? Censoring. Thank you.
Censorship.
So censorship. So Twitter was censorship, which I believe in the First Amendment, and fucking I know there's gonna be people who fucking say stupid shit, but goddamn it, we live in America, and that's where we're at, okay? Fucking we're Americans, and there's gonna be crazy, stupid people that I don't agree with, but that's what's great about America, because we can just
you can say what the fuck you want to say.
And then so Twitter is sort of here. Thanks. This is the craziest thing. Yesterday I was watching this video that my sister's husband was watching, and it was a Trump campaign video. And I am not a fan of Trump. I do not support him. I think he's the devil incarnate. And but we're watching this video of him. You know, he's giving this inspirational speech about, you know, how the country is unified and there's, you know, a few bad apples don't ruin blah, blah, blah. And it's a campaign thing. And they're showing images of the riots, but then they're showing images of cops hugging people and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, they're trying to sell it. So Twitter bans this video. When I watch it, and if I'm looking from it from a I hate Trump perspective, I see just a regular fucking campaign video that, you know, he's not saying, like, I hate people. He's not saying anything terribly awful other than he's speaking, and his voice is just terribly awful. So, but other than that, this video was banned, okay? This video was banned from Twitter. But those motherfuckers will let him tweet some shit about some incendiary shit about fucking saying racist shit. So you're telling me that the campaign video is no good, but you're going to let him... Because you know why they let that shit happen? Because that's where the money is. Money is in the clicks. So they want people to be pissed off and angry about shit. It's sickening, man. It's sickening.
It really is. Oh, speaking of that, this more. I mean, it's kind of on the subject of like the censorship or whatever. But you know how people post music or flyers or whatever, and they'll tag like a gazillion people in there.
Right.
I never do that. I just post my music and, you know, give you the choice of if you want to watch. It's available on my platform.
Right.
You know, not knocking down anybody else that does, but me personally, I feel like I don't want to impose.
Yeah. Right.
But you know, I posted the flyer that you sent me for this show. Somebody reported that. And
what did they report?
Yes, somebody. The flyer for this podcast
that I made for this podcast, they reported it.
Yes, they reported it on my page, and I got it. This is the first time I ever got a notification, and I'm like, "What is this?" And I noticed from that point on, I was trying to post. I was talking about it. Facebook wouldn't post it.
Yeah.
You know, so this is the first time I've never reported anybody. Like I might not like what somebody say, but you can say it.
Right.
You got to understand there's consequences.
There's consequences.
You know, but you can go ahead. I'm all for saying what the hell you know. Exactly. I'd rather you say what you want to say.
Exactly.
But I'm like, wow. Like I notice, and then you notice these independent fact checkers on these platforms.
Oh yeah.
It's funny how some things get fact checked.
Yeah.
And some things don't. Like, you know, I had a post. I shared a meme or something, and I got a notice that said this is partially false. Oh. Okay, we'll focus on the part that's true. You went through all of that shit, you know, to say that. But I see like flat out lies like that come from the Trump camp.
Yeah,
they don't. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. It's like you said, this is a weird time we're in.
Right,
a really weird time we're in.
And they're making money off of, like, they're literally making money off of Discord. They're literally making money off of people fucking hating each other and division and shit. And it's just it's a terrible model. It's a terrible model to go by. But
I believe like things got to get real bad sometimes before they get better. And I think we're in a time where we don't have to go back to where we were before before this stuff. And I think we can turn this into something really beautiful.
I agree.
A lot of people are tired of the status quo.
Yeah.
And it's up to us to turn this into something that's beautiful, where we can live in a world we want our kids to live in at this point.
Absolutely.
I really believe that.
Me too, man. And that's that's my most hopeful part about this whole thing is like I hope that we just maintain this momentum and not get lost in power vacuums within these these groups and get lost into like people's egos, get lost in just getting it convoluted to a point where people can't follow along, because right now there's attention to the right thing right now. Reallocating money to the right neighborhoods and shit, that's the right way. We taking care of our own people here and making sure that everybody does get a fair shot at this fucking experiment that we're trying. That's a real way forward. I mean, we invest so much money in going and blowing up brown people across fucking the ocean, and we don't have no money to invest in the brown people here? That's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
it's out of balance, man.
So here's a good transition. So what's in store for music for you guys both coming up? We'll start with Ray.
You gonna start? Let's start with him, man.
All right, DJ Press Play. I know. Hey, you know what? Press Play. Tell me about Gloom Boy. Because I haven't heard of that guy, and he spit a hell of a verse there.
Dude, he's dope. I actually met him. I think I was with Nightheart. I think I was with Nightheart. I forget who I was with, but it was at In Session Studio, and I had to have been Nightheart. But anyway, that doesn't matter. Yeah, he was there, and he went in the booth and started recording a song. I was like, "Yo, I'm like, this dude's dope." I'm like, "Is he from Toledo?" Like, he's from Michigan, but I mean,
close enough.
Yeah. And he's from like Monroe or something like that. And so I'm like, all right. So he did like 4 songs literally in like 15 minutes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he doesn't write. He just goes in there.
Oh, he's just one of those guys.
Chords. A savant.
Yeah, he's just doing it.
And it's insane how talented this kid is. I forget how old. He's younger than me. I want to say he's like maybe 19, 20.
Yeah.
He's super talented, and yeah, we started working together. We did that song, and I think we're gonna start working on like a project together too.
Nice.
In the future.
Dope. That's dope.
Hell yeah. How about you, Ray? What do you got coming up on the horizon?
I'm working on several different projects. I got a lot of like I said, I've been doing this for a long time. A lot of big network. I got my nephew label is NSD. I got a partner, a producer, Freak Sinatra. I'm working on some stuff with him.
Is he the one who did the beats for these last releases?
No, actually, that was Logic Johnson. Shout out to Logic. We go way back.
Oh,
that's one of my producer brothers, rapper, artist. He does it all.
Glad, dude. I am so happy those are original beats. I was like, man.
Oh yeah.
I was like,
so I do beats too. So
right, no, because I was like,
tired of rapping on my own.
That shit. Oh, I feel that. I get tired of my own shit, my own brain as well. No, I was just because I was sitting there. I was like, man, I hope this isn't like a remix.
YouTube?
Yeah, well, a YouTube beat. Yeah, I really, really hope, because the flow is there, the beat is there. I mean, man, I wish I could play your guys' music on Twitch, but ever since this DCMA shit happened, no playing music at all. So it's just royalty free music on this channel.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right. Whatever I put out, it's either somebody I know personally, or I made the beat, or my son.
Yeah,
like my 14-year-old son has got a spot on this album I'm working on now
Oh,
too.
hell yeah.
You know, I've been working on music with a brother of mine, Black Sun. He goes by the name of Black Sun.
Nice.
We've been doing music for years, forever. Shout out to Black Sun. Let's see who else. Like I said, I'm working on maybe doing some covers with Everyday People as well with the band. It's kind of hard wearing different hats.
Oh, dude, I saw your guys' practice where you guys are in plastic.
In the little bubble, yeah.
I was just like, oh shit.
We try to stay safe.
They're making it happen, though. They're making it happen. Respect, man.
Yeah, we haven't practiced in a while, so we had to do something. You know, we had to, and I can understand some of us are concerned with, you know, with health and everything. You know, so yeah, my brother Reggie, man, he made sure we was all safe when we practiced.
Very safe. So. You guys look very safe.
Was dope. That was dope.
Well, do you guys want to, I know we kind of had a heavy conversation there, but do you guys want to, like, stick around and play some games with us? It'll be about another 10 minutes. Sure. Are you okay with that?
Sure, yeah, I'm with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we're going to transition into the games, and we're going to play How Much Does It Cost on Craigslist? Thank you guys so much for coming on the show and talking openly. My dream for this show which is already that, but my podcast, but this show in particular at WSEG TV, my dream is just to have this open dialogue, and you guys are fulfilling it for me, so I appreciate that very much.
Thank you for having me.
What's up, baby?
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay, so we're going to do How Much Does It Cost on Craigslist? So we're going to switch to the games, which is just, there it is, games. Hey, thank you, Mate. Thank you for that 100 bits and those bits earlier. I'm going to catch up on my chat, guys, real quick before we hit in the game.
Hey, yo, press play. Where can I find your stuff, man?
I'm
on all platforms. Hold on.
I'm gonna turn these guys down while they communicate real quick. So Wallace, fuck it. I don't know what $245, $10 means, but I love it. We're gonna play How Much Does It Cost on Craigslist here in a second. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything. Make sure you guys check out Ray, his Spotify. Thank you so much, Mod, for throwing that up. Wallace, I saw you. I saw that you. If you don't like Trump, he will not help you. What type of president is he?
I'm on.
Didn't know that Puerto Rico was a part of the U.S., but you can.
Press play.
But you can lead the country.
Yeah, press play.
You know what, man? Trump is just a funny guy, man. It's just he's just a weirdo, man.
I just changed.
I'm gonna mute these guys real quick because they are going at it here. Okay, guys, so we're gonna play How Much Does It Cost on Craigslist?
Yeah, send me your links too. For sure.
So we're gonna play How Much Does It Cost on Craigslist, which is like The Price is Right, but it does not.
All right, let's go.
But you don't go over anything. And up for prizes is patches. So we have Pornhub, which. We have Baby Yoda. This is from our sponsor, Moded Studios, modedstudios.com. Go check them out for fully embroidered patches and apparel. Thank you, Moded Studios. So we have a bunch of patches here, and we're gonna give something away to the winner today. So let's
real
jump
quick,
into.
I got
please.
a Pornhub T-shirt, so I low key really need that patch.
You gotta win, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Okay. So I'm gonna see if I can share my screen with you guys. Is that possible? Yes. Share entire screen. Share. Wait. Yes. I'm going to share my screen with you guys so you can see. Are you guys seeing my screen?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. Yeah. So this will be the first item up for bid, ladies and gentlemen. It is the 1997 Prevost Bus H341. Oh my God, my computer's not even plugged in. It's going to die on us.
I'm going to say.
Oh, hold on. Hold on, man. We'll get to you. We're going to all take turns. So everybody in the chat, I'm going to be reading this, and what you're going to do is you're going to just give your best guess on how much this old-ass bus is. I'll read the
97?
It's a 1997 Prevost bus. It's 50 passenger, 200,000 miles, runs great. Come take a look. It won't last. And this is out of Long Beach, California. So do keep in mind that location can matter. So consider this. This probably doesn't have rust on it, considering that it's been in California for quite a while. So we'll start the bid with you, Ray. And what are you thinking?
I say 52,000.
52,000 for Ray. All right, I'm writing it down. Ray, 52,000. How about you, Press Play?
I said 69,000.
69,000. Okay.
Yeah, because I'm a child.
I like it. Okay, Reina's saying 39,000. Thank you for putting that in. Wallace says 80K. Okay, Wallace. Mighty 70K for Mighty. And for Whispering Glitter, we have 26,999. Okay, guys. All right, guys. So I gotta find the other crappy thing here. Hold on.
Bro, none of us are gonna be close. I guarantee it.
I know.
Hold on, guys. Let me get the. Oh, I didn't. Of course, I did a terrible job at like getting all this prepared for anything. Hold on. Let me see. Oh, there it is. So, wow. $185,000.
Oh, snap.
So who got that?
Damn.
So whoever's is closest. So Wallace has 80.
Yeah.
Wallace. So Wallace has 1 point. So Wallace, you have 1 point against you. So the other part of this is that there's not really it's elimination round. So what ends up happening is Wallace, you have been eliminated. And wait a second, is that how it works? Reina, do you remember how it works? Gosh darn it. Wallace has one. We're going to go forward. We'll explain it as we go because I forgot how to play the fucking game. I am the worst host today. Okay, guys, we're moving on to the next one. This is insane. Do you remember how we did it?
Yes. So what would happen in the group round is that the loser would wear the Joe mask. So you would be eliminated from...
Yeah. From having to wear the Joe mask. That's
Yes.
an old rule.
Yes.
So now what is it?
So the new rule would just be that Wallace wins that round.
So Wallace wins
Gets a
this.
patch. That's how it works.
Is it?
Yeah.
So anybody?
So
Okay. Wallace wins a patch. Okay. Awesome.
Can I try a reconfiguration on your screen when you go to a quick break?
What'd you say?
Can I try a reconfiguration on your screen?
Why?
Well, because I think there's a way that I can get both of the guys and the Craigslist thing on your screen.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, yeah, and sort of keep it like this. Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
I'm gonna. Oh, you mean?
Dude, I thought you were lagging for a second.
No.
Because I'm listening to you through my headphones, but watching you on Twitch.
Yeah. Oh,
So
well, it's gonna be laggy on Twitch. Okay, we're moving on, guys.
Okay, I'll try it later.
We're gonna get there, guys. We're gonna get there. All right. So this one is a Pokemon base set. It's a 2-set.
Oh, in the bag.
Oh, that's what they all say. That's what they all say.
I have no idea.
Okay, so this is
What?
This is a Pokemon base set, factory sealed, WOTC, out of Seattle Shoreline area. This is a Pokemon, it's a factory sealed from Wizards of the Coast 2000. Price for each box, brand new. Hold on, brand new in the case, and are selling like hot cake.
What do you do that?
Cake.
What do you do
Only,
with that?
oh, it's like a game. It's Pokemon.
It's a card game.
It's a card game. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's only
It's 20 years old.
You might as well play that music when you get the wrong answer. That womp.
I have that actually. Where is it?
Bro, dude, Pokemon is literally my life. I love Pokemon.
Oh, he got this
Okay, well then press play. Let's.
He said this is the bag.
All right. Well then press play. Go ahead. What's your first bid?
I'm gonna say probably 25,000.
25,000?
$25,000.
Because there's an expensive ass card in there.
Whoa, I'm in the wrong business.
I thought it was Wallace, you won that last round, so hit me with your address in my whisper.
Can I change it real quick?
No, once you say it, it's over. Sorry, I didn't tell you that.
All right, that's fine. That's fine.
He said 26 bands?
He said 25 large.
Yeah,
25. I say 23 bands.
He's just like, I'm just trying to get this. I'm going to show you guys.
Nah.
Okay. And then in the chat, we have Reina says 1,200. And Whisper Glitter says 125. Whisper Glitter. Wallace, I'm not sure. Wallace, what do you bid, buddy? Or are you going to go with the dollar? Oh, yeah. So Wallace already won, so he's out of the round. Sorry, Wallace, don't bid. Don't bid. So Wallace already won a patch, and we're gonna. So okay, and Mighty put in 2,000. Thank you, Mighty. 2,000. Okay, so actual retail price on Craigslist is. Let me. I need to organize this better, guys. Next time we play this, we're gonna have it organized better. Where is it? There it is. Boom! $2,000 to $7,000. I didn't think this one out very well.
Oh, 2,000.
So I was.
Right when I said 25,000, I'm like, wait, fuck, I meant 2,500.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
I didn't have a clue.
So here we go. We got so Mighty put in 2,000. She got it right on. No,
Like
Wallace, I'm sorry, man. I forgot. You already won a patch, so you're out of this round. But I appreciate you dropping in. Wallace said 250, and you were very wrong. So here we go, guys. It's $2,000. So Mighty, you won a patch. Thank you so much. Throw your address in the whisper, and I'll send that out in the next couple days. Whenever I make it over to that area. All right, we got one more, guys, and then we're gonna let our guests go for the day since they've been in here this whole time. Oh, this is my favorite one. So this is a life-size Muhammad Ali boxer artistic interpretation statue.
Oh, what?
That's dope.
So. And this is out
I don't even know where to begin with that.
Right. And neither did they, which we'll find out right here once we read that. This is out of Williamsburg, Brooklyn. And so we're going to...
What's it made of?
Well, we're going to read it right now. So it's a bronze, life-size monument to late, great Muhammad Ali for your gym, yard, recreation facility, bar, restaurant, or home. Limited edition, signed by the artist. I purchased this bronze statue in 2010 from Billy's Antiques on Houston Street, now closed, for a restaurant bar that I was building on 14th Street. It lived outside the bar on 14th Street in Manhattan for 4 years and has been photographed with many celebrities and thousands of people passing by. When I sold the bar, I took the statue home with me to Brooklyn. I'm preparing to renovate my apartment, and it's time to find a statue a new home. I've really enjoyed living with, admiring this one-of-a-kind piece. And then it says, there's light damage on the left arm, and there's some other cast this statue from artist. I don't know what the hell he said. But
I want that.
But here's...
Let's see how much that costs. I want that.
So here's the measurements. It's 84 inches high, 42 inches arm extended, and 30 inches base diameter. And this is the last one. So here you go, guys. Let's try to get this in. Let's drop those. Bids in the chat. And Ray, we're gonna start with you since you took such a fancy to it.
5,500.
Okay, Ray says 55. Okay, and press play. How you feeling, baby? How you feeling?
Oh man, shit. I can't say 5,500 because you just said that. Shit.
But you can say 5,501. That is a tactic. I've seen it done before. I've seen it done before.
I'm not gonna do that too. I'm gonna go 6.
6?
6,000.
Okay, 6K.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what the chat has. Wait,
no more. Do I win the statue?
I wish. Wallace says 30.
I win the statue.
I wish I could send that to you guys. That would be so amazing.
I put that right in my front yard.
Bro.
Wallace says 3,500. Reina says $125,000.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say
Wallace said just guessing. Whisper Glitter or Mighty, if you want to throw your bid in the chat, I'll give you a few seconds here to go ahead and do that. But yeah, this thing is dope. I couldn't get all the pictures because I just was too lazy. But I mean, there is some kind of significant damage on like this side of the arm. So take that into consideration. Anyone else bidding?
I didn't even think about that.
Right.
There's so many factors with this one. Shit.
Right.
Shit. Okay, so Whisper Glitter goes 8,000 and Maite. It goes 50. I have to do that every time because, well, her name is Maite, and it's Maite.
Can you zoom in on the hair again?
All right.
Reina's roasting this dude for his hair. It's hilarious.
Well, the hair.
I wish I could see. Hey, will I be able to see the chat after this? Because I don't see.
Yes, sir. You can. If you follow that link, you will be able to. That I sent
Twitch,
you.
yeah,
That Twitch link. Yeah, yeah. I know. Press Play is probably watching it on silent, so it's not feeding back. But can you zoom in on the hair again? Oh yeah, thank you. I got you. Oh, that's what you were talking about. Press Play.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna.
Hey, why y'all talking about his natural?
You leave his hair alone. It's beautiful.
Right.
All right, we're gonna find the actual retail price on Craigslist. Wherever the hell it went. Oh, here. Actual retail price on Craigslist. I need my drum roll again, but here we go. Here it is. Bam! Thank you. $4,500. And so who gets this? Wallace, I'm sorry, you're A1. Ray,
I think that's right.
Ray, 5,500. 50K, 8K. Yep, Ray won. Ray.
6.
Hey.
Okay,
Ray.
Hey.
You're gonna have to send
flow
me.
like a butterfly.
Exactly.
Right.
You're gonna be out there stinging like a bee, baby.
Right.
Awesome. So I will, Ray, send me your address and I'll send you a patch and I can actually give you guys some. I don't know why I went and threw them all. Hold on.
I want the Baby Yoda joint.
That's hard.
Yeah. I want the Baby Yoda joint.
Okay, guys, I'm sorry. I threw them all, so I can't even let you pick them up. I heard you say I wanted something. What did you want, Ray?
The Baby Yoda one.
You like Star Wars?
Yeah. It's cool. I like Baby Yoda more though.
I like Baby
dope.
Yoda more.
That's dope. I like that.
Okay, and Wallace, if you want to pick one, I'm sorry that I can't really sit here. We'll do that after. Oh, Wallace went right for it. Yoda. I'll take the Yoda, please. Okay, I'll send you guys both Yodas here after the show, and Maite, whatever one you want, we'll whisper it into my thing. I'm gonna let these guys get on with their day, and then I'll come back to you guys, and we'll talk and we'll wrap up. So thank you guys so much, Ray. And Press Play,
Thanks
you guys were awesome. I had a great conversation with both of you, and Unkle Ray is releasing new songs right now. The last song, not the last song. The last song you released, what was that called?
Actually, it's called Life Is But a Dream.
Yeah.
You can find it on all platforms.
Yeah, you can find Unkle Ray and DJ Press Play on all platforms, SoundCloud, and Press Play has a new single out called Faded, featuring Gloom Boy Yoshi.
Check that out.
And both of those guys, both of these guys were featured. We had songs on the actual audio release podcast this week, so both of you guys opened the show with your songs this week, and I couldn't be happier to have them on WSEG TV. And of course, this will be an audio podcast as well in a couple weeks, whenever that happens. So thank you guys so much. I super duper appreciate it. I will be in touch with both of you to sort of wrap up details and stuff.
Thank you.
And Ray, please do send me your address that I can send you that Baby Yoda patch to.
Gotcha.
Awesome, guys. All right.
Thanks, Mark.
No problem, man.
God.
You guys have a wonderful day.
Rush.